Barcelona want Van der Beek, Zlatan reaches 400, a transfer roundup, plus this week's Emoji Mondays, all coming up on today's OneFootball Daily News. As I'm your host, Angelina Kelly, let's get into it. Now, despite Man United's victory over Spurs, there were a few fans that were disappointed that they did not see, once again, Donny van der Beek on the pitch. And now even more discussions are happening about if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer actually sees a future for the player at the club. The Norwegian coach has not given him any prominence or opportunities, really, and we have heard quite a few reports that the player is basically sick and tired of sitting on the bench, which is understandable. They brought him in reportedly for around 39 million euros, and to not even use a player that you spent that much money on, a player that clearly does possess a lot of talent that we did see at Ajax, it doesn't really make much sense, and you can totally understand why Van der Beek is reportedly looking for a way out in January. Now, when the player did make the initial move to Man United, there were quite a few clubs linked with the player and interested, and reportedly Van der Beek wants to let them know that he is interested in a move in January. He has actually brought in new representation. He has a new agent in Ali Dursum, who is also Victor Lindelof's agent and also Frenkie de Jong. So with the player looking for a move in January, like I say, where could he be heading? Well, according to Sport in Spain, he could actually be heading to Barcelona, as they have been linked with a potential loan move for the player. Now, in some ways this does kind of make sense, as according to the report, Barcelona were completely captivated by Ajax when they managed to get to that semi-final of the Champions League a few seasons ago, and what they were captivated by was that performance in midfield from the likes of Van der Beek and de Jong. Of course, they already have Frenkie de Jong, so maybe it would make sense for them to bring in Van der Beek as well. The pair have clearly worked well together before, so who's to say that it couldn't happen again? And reportedly Barcelona have always had one eye on the player, and now that he could be available in January, they may want to try their luck. Now, why would Barcelona want a midfielder that is arguably out of form or simply hasn't played a lot of football recently, especially when you consider that they do have the likes of Gavi, Pedri, de Jong of course, and Riqui Puig to consider. Now, of course, the thing with Van der Beek is that when he was at Ajax, he actually managed to find the back of the net quite a few times. He managed 41 goals, 34 assists in 175 appearances, and who's to say that he couldn't achieve those heights again? At the end of the day, Barcelona need goals, especially when you consider that Sergio, who has been out injured, did have to be substituted at the weekend due to some breathing problems. He reportedly did have a cardiac exam, and let's hope that he manages to make a full and speedy recovery. However, like I say, Barcelona need goals, and if Donny van der Beek can recapture this form, like I say, then maybe he could be the perfect addition to this squad. Now, economically with Barcelona, it does remain to be seen if they can actually afford the player. They would reportedly like to bring him in on a loan with a clause to potentially permanently sign the player. However, it will be interesting as Barcelona are currently without a manager, of course. Now, fans are expecting to see Xavi announced as manager in the coming days or weeks, but is he the type of player that Xavi would actually want at the club? Like I say, Barcelona need goals. Potentially Van der Beek could provide them with this, but if it really is goals that they need, perhaps they should be looking at more of a striker than a midfielder. But for Van der Beek, he definitely needs out of Manchester United, and whether it's Barcelona or a different club, let's just hope that he gets a move soon. Next up, and love him or hate him, Zlatan Ibrahimovic is an absolute legend in the world of football. And over the weekend, he managed to add another milestone to his tally, as he has now scored 400 domestic goals at the ripe old age of 40. The attacker has built a reputation for success, winning trophies across 5 different countries in his 22-year-long professional career that has taken him across Europe. He's broken records in Spain, England, the USA, etc. And like I say, he's just a legend of the modern game. Zlatan reached this landmark with AC Milan over the weekend as he found the back of the net against Roma. And despite his age, like I say, he is continuing to thrive with AC Milan and helping this team, who still remain unbeaten in Serie A. He penned a deal earlier on in the year to stay with them until June 2022, and according to reports, he could actually still be playing football even beyond that. Now, the player has been in the media recently, seemingly criticising Kylian Mbappe a little bit, saying that he needs to do more, but off the back of these 400 goals, he has said that the reason why he is still playing football at such a high level is because of his mind, and that he basically wants to continue playing football and that he will not stop until he is basically kicked out of the sport. And what this means for AC Milan fans is that maybe he will continue beyond 2022, or perhaps he will be looking for a move elsewhere at the end of the summer. And Zlatan will be looking to further those chances for Milan, as of course they have the Milan derby on the horizon. They then of course will face Porto once again in the Champions League this week, and at this point it just seems like age is simply a number for Zlatan, and a big congratulations to him. And now we have a transfer roundup. This is where I take a look at some of the other news and transfers going on in the footballing world. And first up, according to Le Parisien, PSG are reportedly considering trying to find a way to get out of their contract with Sergio Ramos. He was a landmark signing for them in the summer, but he's had injuries. He's still not actually appeared for the club, and they believe that they have been misled about his status. In January, Liverpool could target striker Luka Jovic, as according to Mundo Deportivo, he is a player that is on their radar. French left-back Theo Hernandez, who has seemingly been linked with a move to Manchester City, will reportedly snub the club to sign a new deal with AC Milan. And speaking of Manchester City, they have got a new target in 21-year-old Nice player Amine Gouiri. And now we have Friday Feels. Of course, on Friday's Daily News, you guys gave us your predictions for some of the weekend's games. So let's see who got their predictions correct. Dino WC did predict correctly that Barcelona would draw with Alaves. Ethan George did predict that Cristiano Ronaldo would be on the score sheet for Manchester United against Spurs. And Kenny_TCG did predict that Napoli would continue their unbeaten run in Serie A. And now we've got Emoji Mondays. This is where I stick a few emojis on some of the weekend's action. And first up, best player, I'm actually going to go with Aaron Ramsdale. He was absolutely brilliant for Arsenal over the weekend, made some brilliant saves. The only goalkeeper with a higher save percentage than him is actually Edouard Mendy, which I think says it all. And worst game for me has actually got to be Juventus losing to Verona. They're now 9th in Serie A. This is their 4th league defeat, and here's hoping that they can try and redeem themselves perhaps in the Champions League in the week. And best game actually goes to West Ham in the Premier League, as they got that 4-1 win over Aston Villa. It's great to see this team going from strength to strength under David Moyes. I always like it when a team kind of disrupts the predicted top 4 that you would imagine, and this is exactly what West Ham are doing, and a big congratulations to them. So that's it for today's OneFootball Daily News. As always, thanks for watching. Check out all the other content, and until next time, I will see you all later.